I was saying that at this beautiful dinner in the middle of like a dinner break during the gathering, we were all sitting. You came down and sat down, and at my left was Jean, who had invited us to her house, and then this discussion started. Well, how did you find out about David? And then Jean said, well, actually, I found out about David, pointed across to Jennifer, who was across from her. And how did anybody find out about Jennifer? Well, the woman across from me at the other end of the table was the one who had made that connection, and had told Jean about Jennifer, and then Jennifer was the one who introduced Jean to me, and then Jean invited me, and then even you had just been getting the prompts to reconnect because Jean had sent you an email. So it was we were getting to see the inner connections of how the Spirit works in this kind of collaborative plan.
So you know what that makes me think of, David, is every day we get all kinds of promptings, intuitive promptings. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in Living A Course in Miracles this time is the whole, how do you know if it's your intuition? How do you know if, intuition meaning the Holy Spirit, how do you know if it's divine guidance or is it the ego? How do you know?
Well, for me, over the years, it's been like, I have to feel like a real swirl of glee and joy, and that grows more and more prominent, I think, for me, in terms of I'm not going to do anything unless I feel an inspiration and a swirl around it. And it's a little bit different because none of us were raised to live our life based on inspiration. You know, it was like based on everything but inspiration. You know, that was the last thing. Oh, I kind of feel a little inspired as a last resort, but now it's like inspiration is first. So I've opened my heart up to the point where I stay wide open to all kinds of potentialities and possibilities, and then when the invitation comes, or I'm even pondering a thought, and I feel the joy is swirling in there around that, it's like out of all the potential things that I could seem to do, you know, one will draw me and call me, and then that sometimes will open doors to many more.
Always. Always, absolutely.
Yes.
And sometimes there's that whole bait and switch thing that happens for a lot of people. I know it went on for me for a long time, and I'm sure it still does, where you think you're going one place for one reason, and maybe it's an ego-driven reason, but when you get there, it's like the rug is pulled out from under you. For instance, I moved to Los Angeles to go to film school, and I did go to film school, but when I got there, I found the Agape community, and then I started on the track to become a Science of Mind practitioner and a minister. And once I completed my film studies, I really put them to the side so that I could do my spiritual studies, and that became the focus of my life, and it's been the focus of my life since then. So it was a bait and switch. So, and that's how Spirit is working through every choice that you make. Yeah. Every choice.
Yeah. And how we're shown, I think, by following the Spirit and following our intuition, sometimes we're called to things that maybe we would not have considered, or we really would not have preferred at all. And I know that that's happened so many times in my life, where I will get an invitation or something and I'll think, I don't know, and then 2 or 3 more signs will kind of say, pay attention, and I say, no, okay, I'll go, and then I go, and it's spectacular. It's absolutely, totally spectacular. Like, you wouldn't ever want to miss this for anything else, and then all kinds of other things just come out of that, and all you're left with is this feeling of gratitude, like, wow, Spirit, you are in charge, and thank God you are in charge. You know the way out. You know the way through joy, and then we get better at being in touch with that voice.
Yes. You know, I heard, it was actually Mary Morrissey many years ago. She told a story about getting some divine guidance, and people were asking her, how do you know it's divine guidance? And I thought she gave the best answer. She said, when your mother calls you on the phone, or your father calls you on the phone, if you have a relationship with them, they don't have to say, hi dear, it's your mom, it's your dad. As soon as they say, hi dear, you know who it is. If it's someone you love, it's someone you have a relationship with, that you treasure, as soon as you hear their voice, you recognize the sound of that voice. And that's the same thing that happens with the Holy Spirit, is you recognize, oh, this is the swirl that means this. You begin to recognize, oh, this is the sense that means that. And so you have to be willing to listen and develop that relationship. Because if you're so convinced that you know how it should be and how it shouldn't be, then you're not going to be that interested in divine guidance. So you will be confused.
Yeah, yeah. So without that relationship, you know, that's what it seems like for a lot of the people on the planet. They have some underlying fear and doubt and insecurity, and they kind of just hack their way through the jungle. Here we are in the jungle. They kind of get the machete out, and every day it's a lot of wielding of the machete, and it's a pretty rough life when you have to carve out all your pathways every day. With the Spirit, it's more like the pathways are already cut. And like the Course says, you know, when you have learned how to decide with God, every decision becomes as easy and as right as breathing, and it will be as if you are carried down a quiet path in summer. And wow, carried down a quiet path, that's so much different than hacking your way with a machete through and sweating and grunting and fighting, you know, and I have to say that we're kind of more living proof of, if you do that and you do it enough and you keep nurturing the willingness, then it's going to take you in this direction. And it's really what everyone wants. They may not consciously want it. You know, this is a world where it's based on, the going get tough, so the tough get going, and striving and working hard and really like pushing your way through to achieve and accumulate and accomplish. And the Spirit's really the other way. It's like this small, still voice that's just saying, relax, settle down and listen to me, and I will make it much easier for you and bring you into peace of mind.
The Spirit will never say, you should do this. If you don't do that, people won't like you. Spirit will never speak in that tone. That's how you recognize if it's quiet, if it's simple, if it's direct, and it's got that sense of you keep hearing it again and again and again and again and again. Because that's the great thing, is our own holiness, the higher self, the Holy Spirit, however you want to describe it, will never give up on you. Never. You will never be lost to God. Never. So no matter how far you try to go and hide, you're right there. Even if you make your bed in hell, right there. So when you're willing to say, I have heard that 1,000 times today, I'm gonna try that way and just see what happens. Be adventurous. Sometimes that's what it requires. It requires a willingness to be adventurous. But if you think you know how it should be, you're probably not going to listen to that voice. It will seem scary to listen to that voice. Because if you think you should go to law school and you should be an attorney and you should do this and you should do that because of reasons that have to do with how your life looks and how other people think of you, and you keep hearing a voice to become a baker and make cookies that are healthy, that kids would like, that's going to sound crazy to you. That's going to sound crazy. And so you'll be fearful of that. And so you might go the other way and think, no, I need to do the thing that everybody else will feel good about. But the truth of the matter is, when you're a happy person, if people love you, they really are happy. It's like how many parents say they just want their kids to be happy. At the same time that they're trying to make their kids do what they think will make them happy. So it's complicated. That developing that the willingness to listen. That's the key. If you like this video, please let me know. Hit the like button. Make a comment. Share at Facebook. I love you. Thank you.